Good morning. It is the start of day 2. I'm out here on the shore of Thayer Lake. It's a beautiful morning. Got a little chilly last night, but nothing too bad. Today the plan is to drive. We're going to go to the town of Gay, Michigan. I don't think we're going to stop at the Gay bar, but it might be a little early in the day for that. But there is a bar in Gay, Michigan called the Gay Bar. Look it up. It's kind of an interesting thing. And then we're going to head up to the Keweenaw, the tip of the Keweenaw Peninsula. We're going to kind of snake our way right along I guess that'd be the eastern shoreline and work our way up to the tip. And the plan is to camp on the very tip of the Keweenaw Peninsula tonight. Today our trip begins on the shores of Thayer Lake. We'll make our way down to the town of Gay, Michigan, and then up the eastern side of the Keweenaw Peninsula to the town of Copper Harbor, and eventually sleep tonight on the tip of the point. We start in the town of Gay, Michigan. This is a small town with deep history in the copper mining industry. Today it consists of a bar, some other buildings, some houses, but not a lot going on in this town. I've seen a lot of cool videos from the Gay Bar, but we didn't have time to stop this morning. This smokestack is all that remains from the copper mining industry in Gay. This is where the copper and the bedrock were separated using stamping mills. The sand was then just dumped into the shoreline where you can drive on it today. This is one of the many waterfalls in the Upper Peninsula. This one happens to be at a roadside park, and you can easily just drive right up to it. After briefly exploring Copper Harbor, we decided it's time to begin our journey out to the point to find our camp spot for the night. Unfortunately, we were met with multiple closed gates. Side-by-sides are still able to get around to the left, but full-size vehicles can't pass this. The sign says this is done in order to protect the trails as the frost comes out of the ground, and that the gates are usually opened around the end of May or beginning of June, just all depending on the weather. Unfortunately, we had to turn around and find a different path from here.
Right there. Yeah.
When you stay right on the shores of Lake Superior, you don't have to worry about where you're getting water from. It's just the best way to get back up to your site. Anyone familiar with camping in the Upper Peninsula knows the bugs are bad, and it held true here. On this episode of Food Network in Paradise, we've got Chef Hannah. What are you cooking for us?
It's a variation of tacos al pastor. I know it's usually made with pork, but we have some ground beef. I have a packet of al pastor seasoning, and then some salsa and pineapples mixed together, and we're just getting some caramelization and put them on some taco shells. So
looks pretty good.
Pretty
We've got
easy.
Fresh salsa we picked up at the grocery store. pineapple was fresh at one point, and these chips are delicious.
Recently, someone installed a pit toilet bathroom. You can see that building on the left. That solved the problem of trying to bury things when you're camped on top of bedrock. It was really cool to be in an area with so many other overlanders. This is basically turning into a campground, but with like-minded people. Even with everyone out there, we barely knew anyone was there. Everyone was very quiet and respectful, and it was a great spot to spend the night. Well, we were able to accomplish our goal and get a spot right on the tip of the Keweenaw Peninsula. We did have to get here about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We were the first person to set up camp, but it was definitely worth it. Luckily, we had a Zoleo device so we could look up the sunrise because there was no cell service here. It was definitely worth it to get up before 6 a.m., but we needed a little bit of coffee to keep us going for the rest of the day. We had been planning this part of the trip for a long time. We knew this was one of the main goals, was to camp on the tip of the Keweenaw Peninsula, so we decided we needed to celebrate. So for breakfast today, steak and eggs.
Getting a little bit of driver's seat time for Hannah. It's a great trail to learn on. It's not super technical, but it's got a bunch of mud holes. There's a small water crossing coming up. Good confidence builder, right, Hannah?
Sure.
This will be Hannah's first actual water crossing. This is a very mild one to start with. That's a good speed. Just keep moving through. You'll be great. Good job. Let's go all the way to the top of the hill.
This is actually the beginning of US Highway 41. Today it travels nearly 2,000 miles from Michigan all the way to Florida. It got its start as a footpath used by fur traders and was slowly improved over the years into what it is now today. And maybe someday we'll be able to travel the 8 states that this highway crosses and overland the entire route. Not quite as cool as the Pan American Highway, but definitely a lot more doable.
We made it out. We are at the Copper Harbor fuel stop with some sweet old gas pumps. Got the dials and everything. Paying $4.02 for gas, which is not as bad as I was expecting up here. Figured we'd just top it off while we're here.
This was one of the most fun, yet most deceiving trails we went on for the entire trip. It started off as a well-manicured gravel road, and as we wound through the woods, I was trying to figure out why it was rated as a blue trail on Onyx. As we came around this corner, we figured out why. It's a little deceiving on the camera, but this was a steep climb with lots of large rocks and washouts from the rain over the years. But nothing that a trail boss couldn't handle.
There's a little bit of a bump coming up.
Our radios from BTEC made it much easier to communicate going up this, because one of the only downsides of driving a full-size truck is it's hard to see over the hood. Join us next time as we check out the history and local establishments that make the Keweenaw Peninsula what it is today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the action,